saw everything. The connection between two worlds. About a century ago, humans were defeated by the Vulgus. Invaders from the other world. Then came the Colossi, who destroyed everything. Humans resisted until they could no longer. Then they found hope. They were gifted the forgotten ancestors' power. Finally, they could fight with newfound strength. But another threat had emerged. Karel, the new leader of the Vulgus. His dark ambitions are driving both worlds to the brink of collapse. We must fight back. With the ancestors' power bestowed upon us. Descendant, can you hear me? I've been waiting for you.
According to the investigative core, the Ironheart is in the ruins. The assignment is simple. Bunny will collect it, while one of you protects her. So, who is going to take this on?
Alright, so this is the First Descendant. I want to see what this game is all about. Microtransactions, long loading time, lag when players join, or lack thereof, day-night cycle. But you don't really need day-night cycle unless you're talking about open world. You just need transition from day and night when you load in. Type of weapons, type of character, perks that comes with weapons and characters. Currency. Is the grind going to be extremely long? And if it is the currency worth it for what the currency is going to be used for? Or like in some games when they have VIP, you get VIP, you unlock a lot of stuff, but you don't even use half of the VIP. You only use 1 or 2 of the VIP perks. Unused perks or good perks. All things must be balanced. Otherwise, pointless to have certain things if you don't use them. What's necessary, what's not necessary. What else? Oh yeah. Maps. If there's not going to be a map you could use to find your way, then there has to be an indication node marker. Point you the way you need to go to. If you're not going to have an in-game map, you want things to be free, then you have to have a node marker so that you don't get lost in a maze like you're playing a damn From Software game. Because the only way people will understand how to map out From Software games and where to go is because they mapped it out in their mind after they get confused and lost several times. And even then, it's messed up. Is that going to be present here? Is this going to feel like a sandbox, or is it going to feel like a story-driven thing? And finally, outside currency. In-game currency is another thing based on grind. Outside currency. In order to pay to progress, is the value for pay to progress, is it going to be equal to the price of a full price game? Like if I buy a bundle pack, weapons, additional currency that come with the weapons, and other additional goodies. Would that price equal to the price of a full price game? Like say if I was to buy For Honor. What the price of For Honor, the original price of For Honor. This is probably in the 40s now. With the price of For Honor, that game, the base game, equal to the price of an attachment with regards to unlocking certain things and having certain weapons and perks. There's all that new skins, weapon, perks, a little bit of platinum, just a little thing to get you boosted, like a booster you along the way in the game. Is all that's given to you in a booster pack. Is that equivalent to the price of a full price game? Some games they charge you a full $60 for a full booster pack. I know Neverwinter, you got a damn Dragonborn. The Dragonborn and accessories that come with the Dragonborns each equal to about $60. Price of a full price game. Criminal. Not even the game itself. So, is that going to be present in here? And yes, I'm calling out Neverwinter. They're famous for being, you know, predatory in their microtransactions. They start to get loose with it. But yeah, I want to play that game every now and again. It's going to be like this. If it's another sandbox game, I'm not down with it. If it's a game turns out to be like Neverwinter, the ground's completely ridiculous with microtransaction in order to progress, or the famous thing. Here's the one that's famous. A lot of people don't know about. If you co-op for a mission, and the game is looking for players to queue for a mission, there are tons of people who want to queue for missions in order to get resources. Whether it's for a mission or it's for a battle, no matter what it is. And they wanted to repeat it and do it over and over again. The people who create the games or games or Battle Royale give you a wait time so that you could do it again. So they give you a penalty for how long you could queue up for a mission or for a battle. But that doesn't go just for how many times, that also go for initial time that you queue up. So if you've never done a battle or a queue, you still gotta wait, just like if you did it 17 times. So if it's gonna be like that, then you could be in trying to wait for a specific mission, for a specific dungeon or for a specific vault for like anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes or 10 minutes. If I find I'm waiting for a queue for more than 5 minutes, no, it's a messed up game. You want to go down that Neverwinter route, then this game is going to be dead in the water before it even surfaces. You want to go down that From Software, takes a long time for your characters to load, to support you, to show up in those old games. Not so much the new one, Elden Ring. They did it right in Elden Ring. You want no maps, so you get people running around with their head cut off. No, I'm out. So I need to see what this is all about. And perks on weapons, perks on characters has to be relevant towards what they're going to be doing. And it has to be synergy with characters. Now someone's definitely into my girl Siri, otherwise they wouldn't have her here. Someone's definitely a Siri fanboy. So let's see what she's about.
Seems like my kind of job. Wouldn't it be easier if I just froze everything?
She looks like Siri, but she doesn't behave like Siri at all. That's good. You don't want someone to be exactly like Siri. Yeah, this is kind of dumb though. This makes no sense. She's a prick because everything was lost to her, which makes sense, but she uses ice to represent that prickly behavior. Don't make sense. You could use hot and fire and magma or darkness to represent that prickly behavior. It doesn't have to be cold in order for her to be cold. It's kind of stupid, but it does make sense in a way. I like ice. Ice works. But if I learn anything from fighting in missions, there are certain things ice won't be able to penetrate. Work against fire enemies, yes. Work against probably toxic enemies. If I add ice to something like in Warframe, I could go viral. That'll work. However, ice for defense, ice for breaking things down. There are certain things ice just can't go through. I need something that destroy everything. Now ice would work if it's armor buffing. Depends on the, let me see. No. If I learn anything from Frost, a single attack shit don't work when you're fighting AoE. This is good. It increased my movement speed, and it does like on a Nezha thing, like what Nezha does. That's good. This is also good, shackles. If I use this base AoE based on range capabilities, I'd probably be able to shackle more people. So if I come in contact with an enemy, I shackle them before they even do anything. Should be able to... What if it doesn't work on a powerful enemy, the shackles? Then the only ability that would work is the second. Alright. This is very good. If I learn anything from any other games, once an enemy is cold or freezing, they're likely to get sick or likely to take more damage due to inability to move or inability to keep their body temperature hot enough in order to resist, so they take more damage. So far 2 and 4 are good. Let's see what's passive. Very good. So 2 abilities are good. The other 2 are meh. And passive is good. So far she's mid-level. How about you?
I'll go. I just need to blow up everybody except Bunny, right?
Explosion guy, huh? Bombs work, but if an enemy has a strong shield, they'll block that bomb. I have to figure out a way to puncture through bombs. Or bombs to puncture through shields. But also, if an enemy has strong armor, they won't die from the bombs. But they must die from puncture from the bombs into the casing of their chassis. So the explosion must do puncture damage through armor, not just through shields. First ability is standard grenades, probably work on low level enemies. Overclock for a certain period of time. Overclock increase skill power modifier and inflict burn on enemy damage by grenades. Now if overclock is anything like Overcooked in Aliens, Fireteam Elite, or in Remnant from the Ashes, where the modifier increase the burn rate, cause damage to an enemy on contact. And it's good. However, if the enemy is, like I said, armor strong, the burn will, they'll just shrug off the burn. If this was a modifier towards the weapon itself rather than towards grenades, or wait a minute, no, singular overclock, gain overclock for a certain period of time. Overclock increase skill power modifier and inflict burn to enemy damage by grenade or overkill. Overkill. What is overkill? Overclock won't work good with with grenades. Might work good with overkill though. What's overkill? Skill overkill. Switch to equipped weapons to overkill. Continuously consumed. Okay, so overkill is like his most strongest attack. It's like to destroy everyone in a mass blast. Shrapnel of nothing but bullets to go overkill. And this synergize. If I initiate this first and then initiate this second, this will also have a burning effect. But this works on activity based on MP, so it'll stay on for a while until I turn it off. So I have to know when to turn it off, so I have to know how much duration period I should add to it, otherwise it'll consume all my MP. Not really feeling this guy. Let's see what his passive is. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's good. His passive is good too. So far, he only has one good ability. I would say it's his second, because it works along with his fourth ability. So maybe it's his second and his fourth as well, or maybe it's just his second.
Leave it to me. Defense is my forte.
Oh, he's a barrier guy. Not sure if I'm feeling that. But if he is a barrier guy, then he might be the tank guy. So he's the tank guy. He might be... if he's the tank guy, then he might be the DPS. And she might be the all-rounder. Between tank and him.
Leave it to me. Defense is my forte.
Defense is his forte, right? So it seems like most people, in order to survive, they would probably pick him for defense, which is the most logical thing that anyone would do, so they could survive longer. But if she's DPS, no, if he's DPS, then what the hell is she?
Seems like my kind of job. Wouldn't it be easier if I just froze everything?
She seems to be DPS too. Hit enemies. Yeah, she's DPS. She's ice DPS, and this guy's fire DPS. And of course you can't use Miss Rabbit back there. Probably until open beta is finished and the game goes full throttle. So ice DPS, fire DPS. Or bomb DPS, ice DPS. I've done enough DPS in many games to know that what makes a character survive longer than anything is not DPS. It's being able to tank attacks and dish out attacks as well. So you're a tank, but you're also a DPS as well. So if there's a way to make her and him a tank, for right now it seems the best logical choice. Unless, wait a minute.
Seems like my kind of job. Wouldn't it be easier if I just froze everything?
Defense is 93. Shields is... I don't care about shields. If I learn anything from other games, shields don't last for too long. Unless the recharge rate for shields is incredibly fast. Shield recovery out of combat. Why would I care about it out of combat? MP's 110. HP's 108.
I'll go. I just need to blow up everybody except Bunny, right?
See that? Immune. Health recovery and immune. Once near fatal death. He's about blowing shit up.
Seems like my kind of job. Wouldn't it be easier if I just froze everything?
He's the bombardier and she's frontal DPS. He's just a bomber DPS. Not feeling these two characters from the beginning. That's because the real good ones aren't going to show up until later. They're based. They feel very base.
Leave it to me.
He's the
Defense
closest.
is my forte.
He's the closest thing to something that's decent. see. But if the barrier doesn't stay up to too long, then he's kind of pointless. Reflective damage, that's kind of good. It's not bad. I like this. I kind of do this in I do this in many games. I jump at the enemy and do a AoE slam attack. Stuns enemies at the same time, does a vast amount of damage. In order to stun them for about a few seconds. Plus, I'm not sure if you will take aerial damage once you initiate the power. However, the one thing I would say, when void energy is maximum enhancing, what happens when it does not maximum? Inflict damage and knockback on enemies within range. Okay. Okay, so this is the one I wanted. Create a dome in order to block attacks. That's what I was saying with regards to enemies. Like if I someone shoot bombardier stuff at me. If I shoot bombardier stuff at enemies and their shield is extremely strong, our bombs or our damage won't be able to get through their shields. So he's kind of like the reverse of an enemy if I was to encounter an enemy. So this is good. Let's see. Jump forward and smash and stun. So I'm imagining an enemy doing this to me. Put a barrier in front of their allies and jump forward and stun. And then do some inflict damage and knock back. Stats are based on Ajax health and okay, so the barrier is based on his HP and defense. Health and defense, alright, so 93 defense and health is 100. So maybe it's not going to use up the full HP and defense in order to put up the barrier, but it's going to take a percentage of both defense and health at the same time, or it considers both of these at the same time. So let's say I take 50% of my health and another 50% of my defense in order for the barrier, so that's over 100 or about around there. So I would say my defense shield would be about a good 100, maybe 150 at best. If I put strength to it, but its base standard will probably be the ratio between 90 and 100. Yeah, anywhere from 50 to about 100. From weakest, 50 to about 100. It's not bad for beginning enemies. However, fighting strong enemies might get obliterated easy, which is not bad at all. So based on what I could see here, the only two people that seem to be somewhat, that would make somewhat sense with regards to fighting higher level enemies would be this guy and her. Like if I was to encounter these two as enemies, he would automatically put up shields to defend her, while she would automatically attack me using her ice attack. And he would jump forwards to stun me, while she would finish me off using an ice attack. However, without the barrier, she would be vulnerable. And if an enemy enter his barrier, he might be vulnerable as well. So he have to have a way to escape out of, to increase his speed.
Leave it to me. Defense is my forte.
Passive skills. Increase cooldown effective with energy. Says nothing about increases movement speed at all, or dodge speed, which is troubling. Especially if you fight